going to move on to Catherine. She, her, Western USA. That's a lot of ground. And the question here is, what are your thoughts about volunteering with an organization that is theistic if the mission is still worthy? Catherine, you're on the air with student Dr. Ben and Johnny P. What are your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll share mine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for taking my call. Yeah, I'm from the Midwestern United States, not the Western United States, but I recently moved. I moved to a new city right before COVID to take a new job, and so I never really got a chance to build a community here. So now that COVID is lifting, I wanted to get involved in some volunteer work. I thought that was a good way to meet like-minded people.
Yeah.
I am an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I found an organization that works with young people who have been rescued from sex trafficking. This is something I care about really passionately.
Yeah.
And so I went to, they had a meeting, kind of, a general meeting to introduce their organization. I went to it. I was really impressed. But then I started doing some research on them, looking at their website and things like that. And I realized more and more that they come from a very evangelical Christian point of view. And that has me concerned.
Yeah.
One of the things that they list is that they say one of the most, quote unquote, most effective tools they have is they go around to areas of this city where prostitution is happening and they pray. I thought I would rather go to those areas and hand out sandwiches, that's what, to try to build some trust amongst the sex workers. But, so, this, as I said, this is a cause that I really believe in strongly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going back and forth on whether or not this is the organization for me.
Is it the only organization in town that's doing this kind of work?
As far as I could tell, yeah.
Okay.
It's not that big of a city.
Does this organization, besides going there and praying, does this organization provide meaningful, tangible services or resources?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as far as I can tell, again, doing the research that I've done, they are providing, they're providing housing, they're providing mental health support, they're providing healing, they're providing job training. They're doing good stuff. Yeah. I have to confess, and I have seen no evidence of this. I don't want to, I don't want to insult them, but I am concerned. Is there any slut shaming going on?
Oh yeah.
In what they're doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as I said, I'm trying to do some research before I get involved.
What if you...
I keep going back and forth.
Yeah, no. They're not going to probably share the extent. If they're one of these preachy-talky places where they lay the Jesus on the people, they're probably not going to highlight that. They're going to talk about all the good they do to be as appealing as possible. Mm-hmm. It might be beneficial to go down there if it's safe to do so. I'd imagine it would be, but I don't know. Yeah. And just watch what they're doing, because giving people housing is great. It should be provided through our tax. Our taxes is supposed to B-2 bombers or whatever. No offense, Army Ben over here, but it's not. And so charitable organizations do exist, and people need help. And so the fact that there's housing for these folks doesn't mean that it's good housing. It doesn't mean that they're not being inundated with religious propaganda. I knew someone a long time ago who had a really good time at a concert and ended up getting pregnant, and then ended up getting kicked out of the house by her loving parents for getting pregnant. Yeah. And then was homeless, and then went to an organization, maybe like the one you're describing, to live in a home. And this home they provided food and training and job, potential job services and stuff like that, and also a flood of propaganda, religious stuff. This guy that she hooked up with was a no-goodnik, if I may call him that. And it was the best thing that came out of him was that night. And ever since then, he was a toxic, poisonous person in her life. Yet that group wanted her to get married and recommit herself in a biblical fashion to this jackass.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And encouraged that. And so she tried dating him, and it got bad, and got a restraining order and all kinds of problems. So you're only going to see that, I think, if you got your boots on the ground and you're able to see that stuff. So, but generally speaking, there's a lot of organizations that do fantastic work, and I guess it's the nature of the religious group, I would think. Some people just want to help people out, and they do it because they're inspired by supernatural beliefs, but I think they really do it out of a sense of shared humanity. And whether they keep that superstition or whatever inside of them or outside, I just want to see what they're doing. And so that's my thought. Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to add with that. I agree with a lot of what Johnny had said. Like, if there is a way for you to talk with the people that are being, I guess, ministered to by these people and see really what's going on. Because you can have, I mean, if they're doing some good things and they're mostly staying secular and the prayer and stuff is more behind the scenes thing, like that might not be a deal breaker for you, but I know if they're going out and evangelizing a lot to these people and pushing their propaganda, I could see you maybe not wanting to go that route. But it's going to be up to you. Like, what's the deal breaker for you to feel okay with working with the organization?
Catherine, if you feel safe, if this is something you want to do, I do recommend doing some reconnaissance work on this one. Go down there and see about it. Take some notes, and then call back and share it with us because we want to know. Yeah. And if they're a good organization, maybe we can talk about who they are. If they're a bad organization, we want to let everybody know. But
Absolutely.
Call back and share. And if you don't feel confident, you don't want to share that information, maybe it'll out you, whoever you are. Go ahead and send us an email over at TV@atheist-community.org. Okay, but thank you so much for calling.